Welcome to the Shred the Spread podcast, divisional playoff edition. I am your host, Jared, and alongside me is my longtime co-host, the hottest man in sports gambling. We may go head to head, but we're there to make some money. My man, Dynell, what's going on, man? Been a week without you, man. How you feeling?
Man, I feel good and I feel refreshed this week, man. You know, I didn't have a too bad of a return. The Chargers lost a 27-point lead, and that's what really cost my locks. But I'll take it. It's whatever. We're on to the next round. I don't have to worry about Staley fucking up my tickets anymore, and we're on to the next one.
Hey, man, a wise man once told me the Chargers will charger, and the Chargers indeed chargered. Our producer is an extremely big Trevor Lawrence fan. That boy was wiping shit stain out his drawers after that game. I know he was. You know what? I'm not so much happy about the Jaguars winning, but that was very cool to see Doug Peterson do that.
Yeah.
The third largest comeback in playoff history. And he did it with the first year with the Jaguars. The Jaguars, who haven't had any playoff run since Blake Bortles, which that sounds crazy to say, but
championship round too.
Yeah, exactly. Nevertheless, we have 4 games. The divisional round of the playoffs is upon us. We have 4 games. We have 2 for Saturday, 2 for Sunday. We've got some good games. These large spreads are definitely not an indicator of how these games will play out, in my opinion. I think we have one big dog, maybe a little bit of bias, but I think we have one big dog that will win and one big dog that potentially loses. So we will find out what that is. And actually, it'll be the first game we talk about. So let's hop right into it. The first game, Saturday, 4:30 Eastern time. We have the Jacksonville come from behind win Jaguars traveling to Arrowhead to play Kansas City. The Jaguars, 8.5-point underdogs on the road. The total for this game is set at 52.5. I rambled on a little bit. So how about I go ahead and pass the microphone to Dynell. Let's see what your initial input is on this game.
Well, for starters, man, Jacksonville, right? I mean, can you believe it? Like the feel. Remember how I said the last week I was talking about, it's the feel. Like something feels right about the Jaguars. There's a feel around the aura that came out to show out against the Chargers, boy. 27-0. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought I had that bet in the bag. I was really sit back, relaxing. Then by the end of it, I end up shitting a brick. But at the end of the day, going to this game, I want to believe the Jazz can cover at plus 8.5. This is kind of a tough read for me because, like you said, Patrick Mahomes never covers big spreads. But this is playoff football. This is where the big boys are at. You got the young kids coming into Arrowhead, trying to overthrow Patrick Mahomes, who's been to the AFC Championship game, 4 times in 4 years?
Yeah, I think if he wins, this will be his fifth time in a row. Yeah. That's crazy.
5th in 5 years. You know how not many quarterbacks get to that point where they can
once
even
or
play.
Twice.
Like once, twice, maybe Eli Manning, twice. Wild card. You know what I'm saying? Like that's astounding, man. And he's going to add on to his greatness again. He's going to pummel. I believe he's going to pummel the Jaguars. Look, all respect to Doug Peterson, all respect to the Jaguars team. You guys had a good run. It was great. Like I said, you defeated the odds. I didn't expect you to beat the Chargers at all, but you can't start off like that expecting to win against the big boys, man. Starting off that slow. Trevor Lawrence, 3 interceptions in the first half. 4? I'm sorry, 3 or 4. I don't know, one of the two. You still can't have either or. So I feel like they're too young. They're going to get their point. They're going to grow together. Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence is going to be promising to see. I'm really, really thrilled to see how that's going to progress in the tough AFC. But honestly, if I were to lean here, I would definitely take Kansas City minus 8.5. Just like the experience takes over. Kelsey, Mahomes, them big dogs are ready.
You know what? I don't say this not with confidence, but dude, I actually see. You know what? Let me just say this very, very transparent. I see this game playing out very similar to last week in the Bengals versus the Ravens. Honestly, do. I think this is a hungry, young team with momentum going up against the Chiefs, where their defense has kind of been the Achilles heel for their team.
Good point.
They've really struggled to close out games. Teams come from behind and make it close for no reason. We saw them go to overtime. They battled with the Broncos after they jumped out 20-0, whatever it was. We saw them with the Texans. It's just, their defense is just so shaky. And I think when you have such an offensive coach where he gets behind his players and he makes great second half adjustments. That's my big thing about Doug Peterson. Great second half adjustments. I'm not going to lie. I really like this under. I think Doug Peterson knows if it becomes a shootout, he will not be able to keep up. There is just too much firepower on that Chiefs offense, and Patrick Mahomes by himself can score a touchdown within seconds. This Jaguars team isn't as explosive as the Chiefs, but they have some playmakers. Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram really coming into his own. ETN, Trevor Lawrence their chemistry is astronomical. I just think this Jacksonville Jaguars team just can't be counted out. I definitely like them at 8.5. I really wish it was 9 because truthfully, I think you can wait on this number and get it at 9 just because I think the public, when it gets closer to game time, they'll go in on the Chiefs just because the Chiefs are a favorite to the public. But I really like this under, and just going by game script, if I like the under, I'm going to take the points. I think Doug Peterson knows he has to waste some time off the clock, run the ball, get ETN going. And to be honest, I might sprinkle a little bit of that money line. I think there will be a big upset with this week. I don't think it's the Giants. The Cowboys really wouldn't be that big of an upset, and Bill and the Bengals, but I really think there's one team that gets upset this week, and I would not be surprised if it's the Jaguars. I know that sounds crazy, but I don't know, man. This Jaguars just has some momentum going. After that Chargers, we saw how they looked like a completely different team in the second half. And if Trevor Lawrence can get going, I really think this Jaguars team has a shot. Call me crazy.
Yeah, I see our producer's giving you props right now. Talking about some damn Duval.
Oh, I know he's smiling. I know he's smiling.
Cheesing on the other side.
Any feedback on that before we move on?
Yeah, no. All of them great points. That Chiefs defense. This is definitely a question. Is the Chiefs defense really going to be real? They had a good outing against Las Vegas that last season. The last game of the season. But we'll see. They're going to be tested. Chris Jones got something to say about that. I just feel like that playoff experience is just going to be a little bit too much. Arrowhead is a completely different feel. You're not in Jacksonville. Wait, they were in Jacksonville, weren't they?
Yeah, because they won the division.
Yeah, because they won the division. Right. They were in Jacksonville. This is a away game. This is going to be completely different.
Oh, I know. This atmosphere is going to be completely different.
It's going to be different.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised.
And you know what's funny? I wouldn't. This is, like you said, this is everybody. You know what's funny? People who predict the Cinderella make money. You make money off of history, basically off of a historic moment or, a classic, a game like this. This would definitely be one of the most biggest upsets in NFL history, and it would be an instant classic. So yeah, man, hey, if you're gonna make money, why not bet that?
Hey, and plus 380, come on now, that's way too much value.
Crazy.
Way too much value.
Yeah, I'm gonna sprinkle 10. Don't worry, I'm gonna sprinkle some money on that. About 10, 20.
So let's move on to the best game of the week. Maybe bias kicking in. But we have the New York Giants traveling to Philadelphia. The Eagles are hosting the Giants as 7.5-point home favorites. The total for this game is 48.5, and this line has been going up. It's been going down. It's been going up. It's been going down. Opened up at 7.5, got all the way down to 6.5, got back to 7, and now it's sitting at 7.5. A little bit juice to 7.5, so that is a slight indicator that we might see this number go to 8. That would be crazy. But nevertheless, I think the Eagles are getting healthier. I think they have got their stars back. Jalen Hurts has some time to rest. Lane Johnson said he's going to play. CJ Gardner-Johnson back on the field. Come on now. What are we talking about? The Eagles had such a slow end to the season. This public perception is all over this Giants team, which they should be. I will not knock them for that. This Giants team was the best against the spread team for the season. They're rolling into the playoffs. They just beat the Vikings. And we've been anti-Vikings on this podcast for a very long time. I know I backed them last week, and that was kind of like just joining the train after the train was already almost to the stop. They were reaching the destination. I was getting on the train, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to the wrong spot. Yeah, I jumped on the train way too late, and I regret it because I know that Vikings team is not good. But we have the Giants facing the Eagles. The Giants offense looked great. The bad part is Vikings are 28th DVOA against the run. And I think they're bottom 10 against the pass. Well, the Eagles are number 2 against the pass, and I think they're like number 7 or 8 DVOA against the run. So this is a completely different defense that they're going against. We remember the first time the Giants and the Eagles played. When everybody was healthy, it was ugly. Now, we do know that the Giants and Eagles played a few weeks ago for the Eagles to lock up the 1 seed. The Giants rested all their starters, but there was no QB design runs. It wasn't truly a game. It wasn't a playoff experience. It wasn't a playoff atmosphere. 7.5 points seems very shallow, considering that the Eagles were blowing teams out the whole entire year. I have this number closer to 8, 8.5, 9 potentially. I really was surprised that this isn't sitting at 10 because I really think the Eagles are going to steamroll the Giants. I don't know if that's the bias kicking in, but help me out. What do you think?
I'm not going to lie to you, buddy. I don't know. I don't know either. I've been kind of scratching my head about this too. I lean more here's I'm gonna explain something to you. I guess I would lean more Giants plus 7.5 just for the points, only considering the fact that this is once again a division game. This is the third time you guys see each other. And every time you guys see each other, it's dog fights. Maybe not the first time, but that second time was definitely a dog fight. They didn't play any of their starters. I believe that Jalen Hurts is going to knock off some rust. I mean, that's kind of the that honest situation, the honest real thing about the situation. Jalen Hurts is going to knock off some rust. His shoulder's still bothering him. All right, we kind of already know that. And don't get me wrong, I do believe the Eagles are going to win this game. Don't get me wrong. Okay, they're my Super Bowl pick still, But I feel like there's going to be a game where Jalen Hurts plays a good game, but he might start off slow. He might, knock off a couple of passes, miss a couple of passes, but he'll get going in the second half. Because of that slow start, I believe this game might actually go under. Actually, I honestly believe this game might go under. I think it's going to be a battle of the defenses because you're exactly right. The Eagles' defense is no joke. I mean, you guys have been top of the league on both sides, and I mean, what else can I say about that defense? And Jordan Davis is healthy, and you guys struggled against the run at a stretch of the season. You guys end up seventh in run DVOA because why? Jordan Davis started. He got hurt, but then he came back. And when Jordan Davis came back, you guys are a completely different run defensive team. So, I agree with you, man. I really do. I agree with you in that regard. So, I guess what my biggest pick will be is the under 48.5. Call me crazy, but under 48.5.
Eagles are undefeated when Jalen Hurts and Jordan Davis play in the game. That's all that we need to know. And they're playing in this game. The offensive leader and the defensive leader on both sides of the ball are going to be in this game. Eagles will win. But it sucks to say because I am on the Eagles for the spread, and I'm also on the over. I just think this Giants offense has hit a next level. Like, they're playing very fluid. I see them putting up points. I actually have this game. My score prediction is Eagles 30, Giants 20. So I have the Eagles winning by 10, and I have this game sitting at 50 points. So just slightly above that over. But yeah, so we're on opposite sides for both of those. But I think we're both in agreement that the Eagles win this game. We just have different result for the outcome.
Yeah, I believe it's gonna be like a 27-17.
Interesting. Eagles putting up 50. But anyway, we're gonna move on to the Bengals and the Bills, the rematch of the game that didn't happen. The Bengals, 5.5 point road dogs. The total for this game is sitting at 48.5 in Buffalo. I'll tell you what, this Bengals offense looked really, really shaky against the Ravens. On the flip side, this Bills defense looked really, really shaky against the Dolphins offense. Originally, I was like, you got to take the points with Burrow. This is when, Burrow kind of gets counted out. I'm sure a lot of people have the Bills winning this game. Maybe not. I could, call me crazy, but I don't know. Obviously, there's some money coming on the Bills because this line moved from 4.5 to 5.5. So, a whole point differential. There had to have been some early initial money that came in on the Bills, but I think I like the Bills in this spot. I don't know, man. I kind of got cold feet from the Bengals offense after watching them struggle versus the Ravens. And truthfully, the Ravens should have won that game. If Tyler Huntley didn't try to stretch out, if they gave the ball to J.K. Dobbins like J.K. Dobbins said he should have, I truly think they should have won that game. The Bengals kind of got blessed with that mistake. They ran it back for a 98-yard fumble recovery touchdown, and that sealed the deal. I assume you're on the other side because you've been a big Bengals backers this year, and they've been covering and covering and covering. And, what changes? I think the biggest thing for me is their offensive line took another hit. And we've seen it with Joe Burrow in his rookie year. When that offensive line cannot stand their ground, he does not have time to get a decent pass off. Although he has playmakers, the Bills, like Tre'Davious White, Poyer back in there, Matt Milano running around the middle. Their defense, they just have. I think this is a game they get up for. This is a game they've had circled. They want to get back to it. Obviously, they didn't get to play it that Monday night with the DeMar Hamlin situation. I don't know, dude. I think I like the Bills in the spot at -5.5.
And you best believe I'm against your ass. What? I am still backing the boys, man. I'm still backing Burrow all the way, bro, all the way through. Honestly, I told you since the beginning of the season, or I told you since the midway part of the season. My Super Bowl matchup is Eagles Bengals. All right. So the Bengals, so honestly, like I said, you can be +5.5 on this spot. I'm definitely taking that. I'm betting that this week all the way. I might even bet the goddamn money line. That's at +198. That's a little bit good value for my for Joe Burrow, And yes, I understand your concern about that. The offensive line is definitely an issue, right? We understand that, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I've seen this already before. The offensive line been shaky, and then you know what's crazy? The offensive line is still better it's still better than last year. Joe Burrow made the Super Bowl last year. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, this is a different type of path. They are running to a steamroll team inside against the Bills here. They didn't face the Bills last year because the Chiefs ended up winning and they beat the Chiefs. But I want you to understand, man. Like all my faith goes into those weapons on the outside too, man. Like those three receivers out on the outside, you know, yes, you talk about Poyer and Tre'Davious White being back there, but I ain't gonna lie to you. No matter what, they're going to be hard to handle. I mean, Jalen Ramsey was hard. Jamar Chase was hard to handle all throughout the year when he wasn't injured. He's been hard to handle all last year in his rookie year. Like I have no concern as far as that perspective. But understand that I believe the Bengals defense is going to be opportunistic. I believe the Bills turn over the ball just a little bit too much for my liking. See, if you tell me the Bills play turnover free football, honestly, if you cut down, you know, the three turnovers to one a game or zero a game, you know, I'll have a different opinion about this game, you know, but it just seems to consistently happen, and it's gonna bite them in the butt against this Bengals team. I mean, granted, they almost bite them in the butt against the Miami game. You know, that took a hell of an effort, but I'm all the way with the Bengals here, man, all the way through and through.
Gosh, so we're 0 for 3 so far.
Yes,
We're on the
sir.
opposite side in
Yes,
the Chiefs
sir.
game, opposite side in the Eagles, opposite side in the Bills, man. So I hate to see you go 0 and 4, but you know, one of us gotta do it.
I
But
mean,
you know
well,
what?
I'm pretty
Actually,
sure.
actually,
You know what?
actually,
Yeah, yeah.
let's get to this last game and see if we're really on the opposite side. And
Mhm.
I'm gonna hand you the keys first. The Cowboys are traveling to San Fran to face Brock Purdy and the boys. Total for this game is set at 46.5. The 49ers are 3.5 home favorites. What do you got, man? What do you got?
I ain't gonna lie to you. You already know what I got, and it's not because I'm hating. You know, it's not because I'm
God, we're
hating.
against each other again.
Oh, you got, you know, you did not 3.5.
Yes,
I guess you playing points.
sir.
You playing points. Look,
No, I think the Cowboys win.
really okay.
Yes.
You're not worried about the consistency here. I mean, they have big
Okay.
consistency issues.
I'll ramble on real quick, and it's not even about the consistency. Listen, let's just be realistic here. Brock Purdy is a rookie quarterback. He looked really bad the first half versus Seattle. He looked really bad, was missing passes. I know there was some weather issues, but he was just looking really bad. I mean, Geno Smith was completing passes. Brock Purdy consistently, not necessarily gets bailed out, but this defense holds this team together. They haven't really faced a truly explosive offense. Like the Cowboys truly have an explosive offense. They have two really good backs. They have really good weapons on the outside. CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Noah Brown has come into a set of his own. Schultz and Ferguson. I mean, they have people who are stepping up to the plate and making plays. This Cowboys team not necessarily steamrolled the Bucks, but their defense came to play. Tom Brady still threw for over 300 yards, but the one thing they could not do was run the ball. The 49ers are a dangerous team when they can establish the run. Micah Parsons is truly a game wrecker. He might be a top 3 player in the NFL right now. He might be. He changes the game that much. And going against a team where they rely so heavily on quick passes to Debo, handoffs to McCaffrey, what are they going to do if they cannot run the ball against the Cowboys? You're telling me Brock Purdy is going to go out there and shuffle passes all game to beat this Cowboys defense? I just don't see it. I think the only reason the Niners are favored is because they're at home. I really think the Cowboys should be favored in this game. So I will be playing them on the money line. I see the Cowboys getting it done. I don't know, dude. I think one of my favorite plays in this game is the under. I really think this is going to be such a slugfest. Like I see like a 17-14 Cowboys victory.
We agree on something. Listen. I understand wholeheartedly and completely what you mean with the Dallas Cowboys. Hell, everything you said was completely true and factual. I get it. In a perfect scenario, the Dallas Cowboys win this game. The sad thing is, I don't know if this is going to be the perfect scenario Dallas Cowboys or the worst case scenario Dallas Cowboys. We've seen both faces every year. They've been streaky. I don't know. So to me, I'm gonna go with a team with consistency. At least the 49ers have shown me consistently that they put up 38 points. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Every time I look at their scoreboard, they score like 38 points. 30. Now, granted, it's going to be different this game. This is a different type game. This is going to be against a way better defense. We get to understand that. So it's going to be a little bit lower scoring. But yes, I do agree with you. The under 46.5 is the play here for me. Both defenses are going to ball out. I do believe Brock Purdy's going to have a tough time, but I believe that Prescott's going to have a tougher time. With all due respect, he's going to have a tougher time. Tony Pollard is going to be the X factor of that game.
Dude,
to me.
yes.
He is going to be the
X
factor of that game, man, because what Tony Pollard did against the Buccaneers defense, granted, they are atrocious. We get atrocious, but they had Vita Vea out there, and I really believe the running game for the Dallas Cowboys was going to be kind of non-existent. Tony Pollard made that happen. He just seems to make things happen, and that is the only reason why I will, kind of give you a benefit when it comes to the Cowboys. Tony Pollard is the game changer. I get that Micah Parsons is that guy, and he is a playmaker and a game changer. But for this game, Tony Pollard is the game changer.
Okay, so we do see kind of a similar game script. We just have a different result on the outcome. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I can see that. I mean, this game to me is really it's a coin flip. It truly is. That's why they have it set at 3.5. They're giving a little bit more leeway to the Niners because they're at home, and obviously the Cowboys have had their struggles. I mean, I see why the public is back in the Niners. Their defense is just unreal. Their defense is unreal, and there's a reason why D'Amico Ryans is getting requested interviews at every potential job available because of the way that defense has come into form, and they're getting better and better. Like, they didn't just have a couple good weeks. They are consistently a top defense, regardless of who they play. I just don't know why I think this number is just so high because of the names. CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon. There's just so many players that give touchdown scoring potential. But I'm with you, dude. I just see a low scoring dogfight. Like Sunday night too, the last game of the week. I mean, every other one of these games could go over. It could. And this would be the game that soars under. There's always one game that is just such a dogfight.
Slugfest.
And I think it's this one. Mm-hmm. We have two very, very similar teams, very good on offense with playmakers, but a very dominant defense. The Cowboys defense is kind of slacked off a little bit, but I think this is a game that they've circled and they've prepared for. They see this 49ers as one of their ideal matchups on the defensive side of the ball. And let's be real, this league wants the Cowboys and the Eagles in the NFC Championship. That would just make way too much sense. Like, you know how much viewership that would get? That would be unreal.
Yeah, that would be insane. I ain't gonna lie to you. If I had that bread like that, I would have definitely looked into getting tickets to that game just to watch. That is a icon. That would have been an iconic game. That's gonna.
Hey, what you mean, bro? What you mean after this weekend? After this weekend, man.
Yeah. Y'all gonna do your thing. Dallas gonna do what they typically do. Trust me.
Hey, I'll tell you what. We are on the opposite side. You know what? I know we're on the opposite side of every single game. All right. Yeah. So we obviously could go 2-2. We could both get 2 right, 2 wrong, or 1-3, whatever it is. But one of us has potential to go 4-0. So whoever goes 4-0, parlay all your damn picks, win a couple thousand, and then we'll go to the game.
You know what's funny? Loser. You know what's funny? I might actually, just because it's like getting to that point of the playoffs, I got you. Don't worry.
All right, you want to do that?
Listen, I got you.
All right, you guys heard it here first. If one of us goes 4-0, they're buying the tickets, and Dynell and I will be at that. Well, yeah, okay, we're playing the spread, so I mean, obviously these outcomes could still happen. But if one of us goes 4-0, and the Dallas Cowboys and the Eagles play in the NFC the NFC Championship, I guess it basically is the NFC East Championship, but the NFC Championship will be there. Sounds like a good deal.
Well, let's put it like this: if it's that game, I automatically lose because the 49ers will basically lose that.
Okay, let's rephrase that. If I go 4-0, I'll be buying playoff tickets. If Dynell goes 4-0, then I'll just make him give me the money for the playoff ticket. I'm playing. But that's been 4 games. Dynell and I have butt heads on the spread on not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 games, all 4 games. I don't know, man. I'll just hope for some good football. We'll have to settle this at a later date. Probably on the next episode, we'll go back and one of us will do some apologizing if they go 0-4 or even 1-3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get my WWE belt. I got that shit in the closet. I'm about to spend that bitch.
This man's about to be fighting for his life. But honestly, there's not much more to talk about. I think that's going to do it for us. Be prepared for another episode next week. We will get going for obviously the championship round. Hopefully the Eagles make it. That's all I'm asking for. I can go 0-4 this week. I just really want the Eagles to make the NFC or the NFC championship. With that being said, Dynell, do you have any words for our viewers?
Tell Vegas to bring me my money.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys so much for listening. As always, until next time, see you.